back. I'm Louise, this is Jason.
Hi.
We co-produced this song, Play Pretend, which is the new song on my new record. And Play Pretend, what can I say about this song? It's got lots of blue qualities to it. And the production is inspired by the ocean. And the song itself is kind of about, it's sort of one of those songs where I wrote it about, it's not about anything, but as time has gone on, it created meaning. And I think this was my response to witnessing social media become sort of a bit of a mess during the pandemic and being like, what am I doing here? And what does it mean to be a participant in this sort of like online economy / culture these days? And how do I feel like I fit in? So I actually took a lot of extended breaks from social media over the past few years, really considering quitting it altogether, but then realizing I'm not the kind of artist that can afford to really do that, because then I would not have any fans, likely. I mean, that's kind of the way the world works. So it was sort of about a exploration into where I fit in terms of being a person who uses social media, and how I found it so frustrating when you see people so blatantly, we all should be exploiting it, so I don't want to say it like that, because we all should be using it for our own benefit, or otherwise what's the point? Or the benefit of the greater good, which it does get used for, which I'm really into, but there is sort of a ickiness about it that I still doesn't quite sit right with me, and I think it is a really toxic thing, right? I mean, it's too much of it is really bad for your brain. So it's a little bit about that, but also kind of about feeling a bit drifty in my life and wondering what direction I should take. And I think it's kind of the humor comes out with me being self-aware about how I am overthinking everything as usual. But yeah, it's kind of it's a little bit about all those things, yet none of those things at all. It's one of those songs, which is why I think the production is so kind of fun and spacey and atmospheric. And I wrote this song, again, I think in 2021, maybe 2020, who knows at this point. Time is not a thing anymore during the last 2 years.
Time is an illusion.
It really is, man. You can't really see time. So what is it, man?
I'm just here to drop mad knowledge every once in a while. Just sprinkle it in.
If you don't play video games, so I won't even.
Who says I don't?
Really? Do you actually play Nintendo?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
I'm an old school video game guy.
So am I.
Galaga.
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say get a Switch, man.
I know.
If that's Nintendo, I don't know if it is. But back to video games, and I hate that I'm referencing video games so much. This is not intentional, but I didn't realize this about myself. But I am so influenced by video game music. However, you reminded me of one of the guys on Animal Crossing, which is this otter dude. I forget his name. He always shows up when you find a pearl, and he's like, he drops some mad truths on you as well. Like, hey, dude, if the sky's blue, then the water is too. But it's not really. It's nonsense. It's just, it's great. It's great. Anyway, I digress.
That's
I have
me.
to go. That's you. You are this otter whose name I can't remember.
I'm Nonsense Otter.
You're the nonsense otter.
It's not the first time I've been called that.
You're a nonsense otter.
Yes.
So good. Welp. Speaking of nonsense, here's my song. But this this is how you know we're getting to that hour of wah. But yeah, this song was really fun. It was really hard to produce this song, though. I would say we really struggled with getting just the right amount of sparseness and space. And space was really important to me in this song, because it's really just about creating this feeling, more or less, of being on a beach and being that person, kind of looking out into the ocean and reflecting. And how do you recreate that in your mind? And with music, I tried to do that for myself. And there is a wave sample in here that I believe is actually taken from Mexico, which is where I do tend to take a lot of inspiration from, is my time I spend in southern Mexico, or the southern Baja Peninsula.
It's kind of like this.
Yeah, that's more or less what it is. And using white noise in production is a new thing. I didn't realize a lot of people are like, duh, where have you been for the last 30 years? But using this kind of ambient quality, this non-tonal sound, is really a great way of, I think, filling up space that you can't quite manage to do with actual musical tones. So I'm really, really into using that right now in production. And waves happen to be the right kind of, I think, brown noise, I want to say. Waves are probably a brown noise. I'm new to this. I don't really know.
Pink noise.
Is it pink noise? What's the difference? I know
There's
it's a
white
frequency
noise,
thing.
There's pink noise.
Yeah.
The brown noise would be more like the inside of an airplane.
Right. Right. I like that too.
And then like white noise is like,
yeah.
And pink noise would be like,
yeah. Okay. So it's pink noise, I guess. It's pink noise, which is really annoying because the song is not pink to me. It's super like blue and purple. That's a problem for me.
well, not everyone that plays the blues has blue eyes. The owls are not what they seem.
Okay. Nonsense otter shit right there. That's a real NO right there. That's a hard no right there. Anyway, yeah, this song was really fun to write and to produce because it's just about reflection, you know?
Well, it transports you somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's like that escapism in the song. See, now it's weird when I'm being serious.
I know.
Is he joking?
I know.
No.
We're on a humor high right now. And
Yeah.
when you come from a humor high back to being serious, it doesn't always work out so well. Oh, we did a lot of this kind of stuff. I will talk about that. That's Jeffrey Mitchell Moore. I have a friend named Jeffrey Mitchell and Jeffrey Mitchell Moore, and it's very confusing. But that is Jeffrey Mitchell Moore, who is doing a beautiful job percussion clapping, and he did all the drums for this. We use a bit of samples, but a lot of just chopping up what Jeff gave to us at the Hive over in Victoria. And yeah, I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, that and the process, I think even with a lot of the songs, including this one, is that we captured a lot of sounds. Whether we use samples, we use organic sounds that we had recorded at the Hive and at Jackknife.
Yeah.
And then we kind of went through the process of seeing what needed to stay, what suited best, and kind of taking things away.
Yeah.
And when I was bouncing the tracks out for these video sessions, I started to realize, the majority of the tracks are vocals, and then there's only really just key elements that create this kind of tapestry.
Yeah.
For the songs, which when you hear the songs, they don't sound sparse.
Yeah.
They sound lush and full, but somehow that comes through the space.
Yeah, totally.
Like the space within the music creates that sonic palette.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to add, I keep forgetting about this influence, but it is there. I read The Beach by Alex Garland during the pandemic as well, or not really even during the pandemic knowingly. I just read it during the summer of last year, and it really had a huge impact on me and the sort of idea of a created paradise, a sort of idea of paradise, and how, I don't know, I'm really oversimplifying the book because it's actually, there's no way to, it's an amazing book and it really had a huge impact on me. But for me, it was like, okay, like why do we create these needs to escape our lives when, we should be able to enjoy our lives? And that was really an interesting concept I hadn't actually thought of before, which is crazy because it's kind of simple. Like escapism to me, I was so obsessed with it. And then this song came around. I'm like, why do I need to escape? Like, what am I escaping from? And The Beach is kind of not just about that. It's about a lot of different things. But that element of that book was really interesting to me, how, backpacking culture, especially in the 90s, was let's go find ourselves in a different place other than where we come from, which is awesome. I love travel and that's important. But then doing that, you can cause harm to the place you're going, and you can cause all kinds of chaos when really it's not. There shouldn't be so much weight put onto this sort of thing. It's just travel or whatever. Yeah. I'm on a journey with this thought. Let me tell you.
Like how much of it's distraction?
Yeah, exactly. What are you distracting yourself from?
Yeah.
And how it's just like the sort of ennui that we all feel is just so self-indulgent, especially in that particular novel, the ennui of youth, of how everything's like, ugh, oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing another beach again. Like, it's like, what?
And how many people actually like die or get murdered in that book?
Well, towards the end, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's a bit of a there's a story in there.
There is a story
underneath the story.
I almost feel like I almost was reluctant to bring it up because that book it's so much more. There's so much more in that book than what I'm talking about here. But for me, there was something in there that inspired me to write and think about that concept a little bit of what is escapism? what are we distracting ourselves from? And like, how much destruction are we causing by doing that? And it's, you know, it's all these things. It's all these isms as well, you know, a bit elitist, a bit classist, a bit this, a bit that, to be so overwhelmingly, you know, bored with your life that you have to try to escape from it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How much of your lyrics are inspired from books that you read?
You know, I think a lot of them, more than I realize, because I read every day. Like I'm a reading person. I would probably say I couldn't actually come up with a number because I'm always reading. But I think that for me, it's all about world building in my songs. I like to create bigger picture, kind of like separate entities and atmospheres. And I think I draw a lot of inspiration from the books I read because they are usually about, you know, certain places and certain countries and certain kinds of like cultures, and that's kind of fun, especially when you're stuck at home and you're bored and you got nothing but, you know, books and your Nintendo to be inspired by. I mean, is that on the record?
So we've got video games that we've
video games, my dog,
Mexico,
books,
and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, young Leo before he became, you know, the Prince of 25 and under. And oh yeah, Jonathan thinks that he's also a big inspiration for the record. And yeah, absolutely. Big time.
And who is this Jonathan you speak of?
There is an elephant in the room right now. Come say hi.
Thank you.
Very, very good. Very good.
This is the sound of one hand clapping.